Around the Geek is back. Terrell and Dio are here to give you coverage of the special that you've been waiting for the last year, 2 years. They've been talking about it. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, once and always. Dio, what's going on?
Not much, man. I kind of enjoyed that Power Rangers movie, but we'll get into that in a
A
little bit.
movie is special. So, if you guys are watching this right now, the once and always Netflix exclusive special is out right now. So we're gonna let you know right now. This is going to be a spoiler review of what we saw. So it came out, April 19th. Today, as we're recording, but we're gonna pretty much talk about it in depth and what we thought and what they could have did. But yeah. So let me start off by saying this is something. This is not something that I knew I wanted. It's Power Rangers and Super Sentai have always had like especially Super Sentai. Super Sentai they've always had like reunion specials, or something where like previous Rangers or previous Sentai come back, in different iterations. In Japan, the way they do it, they have movies. They actually have like cinema movies. Or they'll have like anniversary special series. Same thing with Power Rangers. But they pretty much they come out with something like every 5 years, every 10 years, and I don't know if you could play that video because YouTube copyright right now because they might take that down. So you might have to put that over.
You're right.
This guy trying to get me jammed up.
Bam.
But so yeah, pretty much every 5 to 10 years they have a different video. This special in particular, this is focusing on Zach, Billy. Pretty much this is like Zach, Billy, and Trini, right?
Yeah, but I think it was more focused on Billy though.
It was definitely kind of focused on Billy and like what the heck he was doing. Because pretty much after Zeo, you really don't see him like that. He doesn't play a recurring role.
Right.
In the way that Tommy does, Jason David Frank does. Jason David Frank is go come back like 50 different series.
Right.
He was always the guy. He was the main line in the Power Ranger series. And this particular special, they choose to address kind of Trini, because Thoy Trang, I think it's pronouncing that right. She died in real life. I think it was like a car accident.
Yeah, it was a car accident. Which
is weird because in this particular, like right off the break as we start, we still see the Rangers like fighting Rita Repulsa in robot form, and she kills Trini, which I thought that was an interesting choice to make here because they could have done that a different way. I think.
Yeah, I'm also in agreement with you because from that era of Power Rangers, no Power Rangers really got killed by the villain, right?
You see them blow up all the time,
right.
Especially in Ranger form, but not to the point where it was a one-hit KO and somebody died.
Right.
Now in Super Sentai, people die. people do die, but they've never actually killed anybody on Power Rangers, which I thought was really interesting that they chose to do that here. Because, like I said, they could have done this in so many ways. They could have had an off-screen death where she possibly got sick, or they could have used her actual death. But the fact that they chose to kill her off in Ranger form and show her the screen. Of course, they didn't actually show her, but it was weird. I that was kind of probably like my only thing that I had an issue with is how they chose to address how she died or address why she wasn't on screen.
All right, yeah, I'm totally agreeing with you on that. But I mean, the movie itself, is still cheesy. It still upholds that,
that 90s nostalgia,
that 90s cheesy comic thing going on. My boy Zach, he did some dance moves one time for the screen time. And but I don't know that New Yellow Rangers, Trini's offspring. That person annoyed me.
Min Kwan, played by Charlie Kirsch. I think she did a really good job, like as far as like performance and like the acrobatics and like the training and stuff that she did, the stunts that she was able to do. but yeah, of course, Trini has a kid, and that we come back to Zach and Billy spilling the beans that her mom was a Power Ranger, which at this point, like, why was it still a secret?
Right.
Because if you've continued to watch Power Rangers that I have, there have been many iterations of teams that's just like, their identity is out there. I mean,
right.
SPD.
Was that Mystic Force was out there? What's the one where they was like police officers or something like that?
SPD, yeah. Lightspeed Rescue. Because we're talking about public teams, so like there have been now, like, what were the most recent Rangers? It's been Dino Fury and
I just had it up.
And Beast Morphers. Now they were still teams where they chose to go back to the secret identity format, which I think works, because it's kind of hard to be like, oh, okay, if you know who the Power Rangers are, you're in their face all the time. But getting back to the special here, they choose to tell Trini's daughter that she's a Ranger. They kind of speed run that. We get they choose to go do a time skip of a year somehow.
Right. Yeah, I was like, she been there for a whole year, just cover her remains. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I just thought that was wild, man. But completely irrelevant to the thing. But I'm like, dang. So like, Trini didn't have any other family members that for the sake of the story here. Somehow she becomes under the watch of Zach, who apparently was running for public office and decided to step down to raise her. That's wild. But the story is like, Rita goes back to the dark dimension. Robot Rita goes back to the dark dimension, and they pretty much are trying to track her down, right?
So from my understanding was Billy was trying to bring Zordon back, because at the end of what was it, Space Force? He reached the Z-Force.
Zordon sacrifices himself.
He sacrificed himself, get rid of all the evil spirits, right? And then Billy's trying to bring back Zordon by extracting that same force, but he extracts Rita Force, and then we have Robot Zeta, who took over Alpha 5, and because Robot Rita was actually Alpha 5, which was back in the 90s that we saw was Alpha 5.
It's like,
and
it's like Alpha 35 at this point, right? Like, it's
no, they called him Alpha 9.
Alpha 9,
yeah. So it's interesting to see how obsessed Billy was to bring Zordon back, because I really didn't think that Billy looked up to Zordon like an actual father figure. I thought it was more like Jason or Tommy that looked up to Zordon on that role, but not so much as Billy.
I don't know if Jason or Tommy had like any, because like, I mean, if you kind of listen to like a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that what was going on with Billy at the time and why he chose to leave, step down. At that time in the 90s, he was dealing with supposedly, I never had it confirmed or anything like that, but I think I'm not sure they said anything about like he was being teased for being gay on set, stuff
I heard about that too.
Wow, that, which I feel like they threw a little couple sprinkles in there for you. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And like they had like the one scene with the gay couple that Quan winds up rescuing. And I'm not to say that was a specific nod to Billy, but to have that type of inclusion in the movie, I think was a way to kind of like do whatever
acceptance or something like that. I don't know.
Because 2023 is it's whatever now, right?
Right.
But the same Power Ranger plot right here. We saved the day. We gotta shut down Rita because her plan is to siphon the energy out of all of the Power Rangers to
travel back in
time hole so she can find her Rita herself and pretty much correct the things that happened. Now this is where I slightly have an issue, and it's not that yet. I feel like I need to address it right. They didn't have the budget to use the suits from other series. Like I think what I was expecting here was like, okay, generations of other Power Rangers were going to make appearances here.
Right. Like how are we going to bring in generation after generation of each Power Ranger series, but not in the movie.
Right. So they're like, so they, I mean, they pretty much tell you like, you know, the Power Rangers are like global at this point, right? Like there's like a Power Ranger almost everywhere, space, you know, they're all over. And we couldn't get any of the previous iterations. The only time we got to see them was you know, when they showed like the toy figures, which that was like a shameless plug, right? To toys, you know, Hasbro. But I was hoping to see more, even if they didn't show the actual actors, more of the suits. And I don't know, you know, why they chose to do that. It was because the story is mainly focused on MMPR and that group of Rangers. And
but it still would have been like a nice little, you know, thing to throw in there. It's like come on, man, like. You know, rest in peace to Jason David Frank. But I was hoping that he made like some type of cameo in there, you know, before his passing.
This was filmed before he had died.
Okay, all right. I thought it takes movies like 2 years to, you know, produce or something like that.
This was this was like a year, but okay. So the only Rangers that we got on screen, and we got Steve Cardenas, who was Rocky in the original. He was the bootleg Jason. Nobody wanted him. he came in and picked up the slack when the power was transferred from Jason to Steve. Right. And everybody knows the Red Ranger is the leader. And I was hoping that my man Steve would have had the redemption that he deserved and picked the slack. But Billy is the leader of the team, right? You know, right. The Green Ranger is out of, you know, because they still had Jason. They still had Jason who was there, and they had Tommy who was captured. Of course, you gotta find a reason to take out Kimberly, Jason, and Tommy because they're not on screen. Which I was like, all right, you know, whatever. But Steve Cardenas, man, he just got the short end of the stick here. You know, especially I think when the Power Rangers movie came out, he was in the movie. But Tommy at that time was the lead role because he was the White Ranger. Everybody,
everybody was on Tommy's nuts.
I mean, he was the best. I mean, I don't know if like I said, like when you think of like these specials and like the stuff like that, Tommy is the guy. You know, he has the master morpher. He can morph into his other previous forms, stuff like that. So Tommy's always going to be the greatest in like Mighty Morphin Power Ranger lore going forward. I don't care what you say. Like I said,
those are facts.
Right, man. You know, I think he absolutely would have loved this. You know, if you know, I hope too bad he couldn't have been in it. We had Catherine Sutherland who came back, who was Cat, and then she came back and played the Pink Ranger because we need to have substitute Rangers. we got to figure out a reason to duplicate power coins, which I'm not going to get at that the Power Rangers side of me of like
they was breaking their own rules.
I was like, what happened to not being able to duplicate powers? Like when Mighty Morphin Power Rangers ended, they were not able to tap into that power at all going forward.
Right.
The Zords got destroyed. They moved on to a whole new power, new ability. Whatever, right? Let's just none of that happened. They brought back Aisha, and they brought back Adam. But
Aisha had like 2 lines.
But Aisha and Adam were now Space Rangers, basically.
Right.
You know? And you know, of course, they were like, "Hey, we're 6 hours out. We can't help you right now." So that was the reason why they couldn't get in. But like I said, they showed other teams of Rangers. But like I said, I just wish we could have got some of the suits. Like they could have showed more of the suits and stuff like that.
Like I would have been more excited if they showed Turbo. That's just my personal favorite.
I think it brought back my man TJ.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was like, you know, when you read the title, like Once and Always, you know, like Once and Always a Ranger, stuff like that. You thinking like in your head, like you about to get a hella cameos. You about to get Rangers. They about to have a mega team up. I mean, it's just so many things that they could have did. I mean, I think this was cool. This is a nice little nod to the fans. You know, we get to see like kind of where everybody is going forward, especially with all the series still kind of referencing MMPR and stuff like that. But it's in terms of the story, like I said, short and straight to the point. You know, Trini's daughter comes in. She winds up taking a blast with Billy, who you know she blames for killing her mom because he's the one that brought
Rita back essentially.
And she winds up getting the power and morphs, and they take out Rita and the crew. I thought, I don't know why I thought they were gonna take more of they were gonna film this from kind of a adult lens a little bit, like kind of age the audience up, the characters with the audience to the point where some of the dialogue would change and the way they would go about some of the scenes, because they still kept it silly, they still kept it fun.
Yeah. Everything was still cheesy. The fighting still as it's a Power Ranger thing, so you'll see action going on. You see explosions in the background, people just falling over. It's still cool.
Yeah, I thought the fights and the stunts were still pretty cool. I do like the way they filmed it. But it was, some of the locations, like, because remember, like back in the day, like MMPR, they were still using a lot of the ZU Ranger footage, like the Super Sentai footage. So they were like fighting in Japan, but they were like have like stock footage. Like we use that stock footage, but then like of course they had the scenes of the juice bar and stuff like that. So like the first like 50 or so episodes of like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the suit fights were not actual fights of like them. So like it's always weird kind of seeing them use like these new shiny suits versus like the ones that they had back in the day and stuff like that, which they did. I think they did look good.
I was also expecting Billy and Scully for some reason in the juice bar.
They made a reference to Bogoscope with the signs. And those two have gone on. I think they were in Beast Morphers, if I'm not mistaken. They made an appearance or something like that. But yeah, I was expecting that. Like those actors are definitely still alive,
right?
But again, this was more of a tribute to Toy, to Trini's character in the show than anything. This was more focused in on that and kind of closing the chapter on that and kind of bringing it. I was also hoping to see them kind of bringing a new legacy of Power Rangers. Maybe I was kind of hoping for that. Like maybe they kind of pass the baton off or something like that. They had kids or something like that, or like something like that. Because that's what I thought was going to happen. Because it's kind of weird. Okay, we got Trini's daughter, like with like everybody that's like in their 40s now. Like she's
right. But Billy's old, man. That man old. You saw it in the face. I'm like, ooh, God.
Yeah. What were they like? They were like early, because they were teenagers. They were like early 20s, between like 19 to 20 when that show first came out. So they definitely like either like mid 40s to like early 50s, maybe.
Well, I think Jason Frank, he was like what, 40 something, or was he 50 something? I think he was like 40 something.
Frank was like 48 to he was definitely 48, 49 at the time. Like by the time, I said, man, rest in peace to the GOAT, man. But yeah, man, like I said, was just definitely hoping to see more. And I'm looking at IMDb now, and they got like credits for people that wasn't even in the special. And maybe because like they showed the stock footage, I think why they're crediting them in that. But overall, man, I definitely like the Megazord. They decided to go with like the 3D Megazord, like the CGI.
Yeah, it's all CGI. A little cheap CGI, but still passable.
So, like I said, normally when you see these shows, like once they're kind of done with the power, they kind of like, all right, we're done, or like it depends on what happens by the end of the series. But somehow they were still able to tap into the morphin grid and reactivate these powers. Like you said, bending their own rules. But like I said, it was cool. It was nice to see. I hope to see more of this, more stuff like this. Not just with MMPR, but like different stories. Like it's so many future stories that I would like to see like kind of the lid closed on. But
ain't nothing wrong with the series doing like a special, like a 30-minute special, like they always used to do. Bring all the Power Rangers together and just
right, because typically
and pass the baton off.
Right, like during the series, like one of the new series themselves, they'll bring in like Legacy Rangers, and they'll come in and do they'll film a scene or something like that. Like I said, they did it with Tommy, with Ninja Storm, or they had a couple joints with Beast Morphers, and like I said, Ninja and what was it, Dino Fury. So like I said, I mean, like we're going into a new generation of Power Rangers here, where we're completely going off script and like filming completely original stuff. And I think that's the goal. Like I think that's what Netflix is trying to do. They're trying to film original stuff going forward. So not relying on the original stock footage of some of the shows and completely just redoing their own thing. So see how that goes. Going forward. Overall, just kind of rating, just kind of going through one. So how would you rate the fight scenes, like the action throughout the?
So the fight scenes, I guess about a 6 out of 10.
Okay, yeah, that seems fair.
Yeah.
That seems fair. Yeah. Also, I was just jump, but yeah, like I said, I found it weird. Zach was like, "Yeah, you can't be a Ranger, man. You think it's a kid?" I think y'all teenagers. Like, what's y'all? Like, it was a game that y'all wasn't taking that serious.
Right.
Fighting, saving the world. Like, come on, man. Some space dude comes out, gives you powers, and you can't take that serious. But like I said, the fighting was cool. Like I said, I would give it about a 6 myself. And then like I said, just bringing in Trini's daughter. Like I said, I wish I would have seen them just kind of, like you said, pass the baton, do the legacy thing with more people. I wish they would have brought in previous Rangers. That would have been mad cool.
Right.
Just so many more moments they could have touched. I mean, like I said, they wanted
even they had like little camp, like when they was just showing video footage of what everything was going on in the world with the the turkey sounding people. I keep forgetting
the party patrol.
The party patrols. Show cameos of like the outfits fighting them, something like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like they like I said,
they don't have to all have dialogue, but just show stunt doubles or people just fighting in the suits.
Because they acknowledge that they're not the only Rangers that's in the world. But I'm like, we can't check that out, or what's the difference? I don't know if that was like a rights thing. Like they didn't have the rights to show the suits, or what it was. Because like Hasbro, as far as I know, owns that, maybe because it's on Netflix. Like I said, I wanted to look more into it to see the why it couldn't.
Well, Hasbro had to give that permission for this one, though, right?
Oh, of course, yeah. But overall, good guy saved the day. Trini didn't come back to life, which I was like, all right, maybe I thought that's I think they were gonna use the time portal, like kind of like save her from dying or something like that. They was like, nah, that's permanent. Okay, so. But yeah, overall, I thought it was cool. It was a nice little watch. Like just say any Power Ranger fan, like I said, because I never fell out of it. This didn't hit me as nostalgically as it probably would. Probably you who doesn't watch this type of stuff on a daily. But
yeah, it was definitely a nice little kickback home.
55 minutes, perfect. Didn't need to be any longer. Basically 2 episodes. And we kept it moving. Like I said, I hope to see more of these, not from just MMPR, but like other stuff going forward. But I think it would have been a good opportunity to, like I said, set up a new team of Rangers. You show Billy and Zach and them pass their abilities on to somebody else, because that's what I was thinking. Like, okay, we did a time skip. We introduced Trini's daughter's friends, and they passed their powers on. But
right,
like, yo, you about to be a Power Ranger in your 50s, so how long can you keep doing this? Like, so,
you can't be jumping and kicking anymore, bro. You got a little gut going on.
Zordon ain't paying no insurance out here, yo. So. But no, like I said, overall, I really enjoyed it. I definitely would recommend it to you guys. Any closing thoughts, or like what you wanted to see, what you thought you were going to see?
No, you hit everything. You hit the nail on the head on everything with that. I got nothing else more to say about it except, I wish they would have done more. That's it.
I appreciate everybody that was able to come out and do this. Steve, Catherine, everybody that was able to come back and actually, I don't know if they were actually fighting in the suits, but
no, they was. You can clearly see there was stunt doubles in there. So somebody else in there.
Some of that adult weight, hit them, and they was like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to put you in." So, we're gonna have to do what we do. But like I said, overall, it was definitely good. I hope to see more. Like I said, I appreciate everybody that came back. I hope we get more of these. Let us know what you thought about the special, the Netflix. Now that Netflix is doing original Power Ranger content. What you think about it in the comments below, and what you want us to cover next. We pretty much gonna be dropping something for you, so just let us know. Like you said, we'll do some Power Rangers or whatever. We'll do like a special, whatever. But let us know what you thought about this, and where you see the future of the Power Rangers franchise going in America. Not Super Sentai, but the Power Ranger franchise specific, and what they can do, and hit more of that nostalgia, because Lightning Collection for Hasbro right now. You've been missing the mark, and this is a good opportunity to, like I said, do more stuff. But on that note, thanks for watching. Leave us a comment, like and subscribe. Like the YouTubers say, and we'll catch you next time for another review. See you.